Hello folks, this is Steve AB4L. So I'm just waiting until it's midnight when my current video is published, and I'm looking to see what's on YouTube. I mean, YouTube has got everything. Associated Press. Now, this is from a YouTube channel. The title of the story is Breaking. Fire truck evades crossing gate and slams into bright line train in Florida. Now there's a channel I subscribe to called Distant Signal. The guy's down in Florida, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up doing a video about this. But he usually talks about freight trains, orange juice trains, things like that, and he's down there. But that's what caught me. Breaking, a high-speed passenger train has crashed into a fire truck in crowded downtown Delray Beach, Florida, leaving some firefighters and passengers injured. Now it says, evades crossing gate. So what? Is this? I don't know. Are they going to say they were on the way to fire? The gates were down, bang, 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 bang. Train's coming, we got to get through, and they get stuck. Not a very good driver, but we can't go around. We got to get. Hang on, let's see. Why I'm interested. I can remember, I made a video about it, maybe on my Good Twins channel. When I lived in Raleigh, out on Hillsborough Street across from Meredith College, approaching the intersection where the fairgrounds are, there's the Method Road turnoff. And I remember a woman had tried to get around and she got the car, and her car ended up going down the tracks about 50 feet, and she got out of there and left it there and walked away. To go to see, that's before she had a cell phone. The car is on the tracks. It's a main line that runs along Hillsborough Street. You can find it on a map, right out there because walked away. Yes, the train hit it. Yes, the train hit it. Okay, that's what the front of that looks like. I wonder if they build them to be reinforced. You know, Scott's Garage down here, I remember in the last year when there was a big roll, two cars collided, both rolled over, they clipped off a pole over there, and they all walked away. I saw them. And Scott said, yeah, the way they're building cars now, they're far more survivable than the old days. I don't know if that's true for fire trucks. Okay, at least 15 injured after Bright Line train crashes into fire truck in Florida. That's the title of that one. And a little further along in that video, there's the fire truck. And that white thing on the side, is that a part of the fire truck or is that part of the crossing? I can see a green bucket in the rails. So it's obvious that it was a high-speed collision. Now, these often happen, we're going to look, where the train is coming, and it seemed like on Hillsborough Street. That's a long, straight stretch. They accelerate to get out. When they're going through downtown Raleigh, they're crawling. But once they go over and start paralleling Hillsborough Street, they're on their way to Greensboro. Delray Beach, Florida. It's train accident. Okay. Palm Beach Post, ABC News. Let's just try this one. I don't know how close Palm Beach. We got to find out where it happened. Yeah, we got it. Okay, there's the fire truck. That's the ladder. It broke into at least two pieces. We see two tracks parallel. Why would there be two tracks? In the busy place, one can go north, the other one can go south. Or it's a siding. One of them's a siding, one's a main line. What does that mean? If it's a busy line, there's times there's a need for one train. There's two trains headed toward each other. They know that. And to accommodate, one goes off onto a siding and waits while this one passes, and then he gets back on the main line and continues on his way in the opposite direction. What I meant by, we have it, a bright line passenger train collided with a fire truck in downtown. Why not say it the other way around? Splitting the truck in two and sending 3 firefighters and 7 of them to the hospital. Crash happened at broad daylight, 10:45 a.m. along the Florida East Coast Railroad tracks. That's a main line. A block south of Atlantic Avenue, across from the Delray Beach Food Hall, H-A-L-L. Hang on. Let's try it this way. We'll do a search on that. Delray Beach Market. Maps. Oh, I can see it. Just right here, I can see it. Okay. Now, before I go in, this is a canal or something like that. Yeah, there's a Bar Harbor condominium. That's a canal. Here's Atlantic Avenue right there. It's a busy one because it splits into two here. We see a diagonal line here. That's a railroad. Let's see if I've got that right. We want Atlantic, okay. Let's go a little closer. So we use the food bar. There's a paved street. There's 2 rails. There's buildings nearby. Hang on. The crash occurred a block south of Atlantic Avenue, across the tracks from Delray Beach Market Food Hall. A block, so, okay, here's the restaurant. There's the red balloon. So it occurred here. Okay, they mentioned Atlantic Avenue because that's a main drag. Nobody would know where Southeast First Street is, which is the name of this street. This is where it happened. Okay. You notice this stuff here. This is April 2024. This is up to date. It's 9 months old. So here's the crossing bar. They restrict people from turning left or right with these things here and these things here. If we turn around, there it is. There it is. We get a, all right, now here's the key. This is why I wanted to come and look at it. What did I tell you a couple of minutes ago running my mouth about out there on Hillsborough Street? It's a straightaway. It's not where they do the freight unloading and loading. It's not a passenger station area. So when the train comes along here, it's at maximum speed. It's going to the next place. Maximum speed. So with an engine and who knows how many cars, how long do you think it would take if they slammed the brakes on to actually come to a stop if they're going like 80 miles an hour? A train, not a car. Car, we know it won't stop right away, won't stop on a dime. Let's back up a little more. This is obviously a big right-of-way here. See the grass small? The city ordinances didn't allow any building in there for some reason. It's a power transfer. This is also a main power system. So as we come toward that, we see this. Now that arm, I'm looking. Do you see how long that arm is? That arm only will reach to the center line here. And so that arm will only reach to approximately the center line there. What does that tell us? The title is Braking, Fire Truck Evades Crossing Gate. So these arms are down, the lights are flashing, it's going ding, 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 ding. And they go to the other side of the road and try to go diagonally through there. And he may have stopped for a second because he's hanging up on the arms. We don't want to completely destroy these crossing arms. And the train hits him because the train's coming along at maybe 80 miles an hour. Too late. Too late for them. Did they get a chance to jump out? I'm not making fun of anything. See the main power distribution there? It's just like the one that's out here. 3 lines, 25,000 volts, whatever. Okay, that's how it looks from the other side. There it is in one direction. It's off, flat, straight to the distant infinite horizon. Off, straight, flat to the infinite horizon. 80 miles an hour. Florida East Coast Railway. Connecting Florida to the world, whatever your logistic needs are. Florida East Coast Railroad Florida East Coast Railway delivers tailored supply chain solutions. Now but that doesn't mean that there aren't passenger trains on there too, but their main thing is you can see it right there. Remember what I said about orange juice and stuff like that? Special services, they move trucks, industrial development, quality infrastructure, flexible study, excellent connectivity. The Florida East Coast Railroad is a Class II regional railroad that owns all of the 351-mile mainline track from Jacksonville, Florida. You know where that is. I had an aunt a very long time ago in the U.S. Navy stationed in Jacksonville, which is up on toward the north of Florida, down to Miami. We all know where Miami is. It is the exclusive rail provider for Port Miami, Port Everglades. Everglades is not in the south. It's up near Jacksonville. And Port Palm Beach. So it's like this. Well, this is interesting. Looks like they're owned by Grupo Mexico. Wait a minute. You learn things by letting your mind wander. Grupo Mexico Mining Company, Florida East Coast, Grupo Mexico Florida East Coast Railway. This is still on the, it's going to be the Florida East Coast Railway. Here's a news item. Grupo Mexico to acquire the Florida East Coast Railway Holdings Corporation. So the railroad is not directly owned by itself, but by a holding company. Alphabet is the holding company for Google search, YouTube, Gmail, So it has occurred. Mexico City, Mexico, 2017, Grupo Mexico Transportes, the leading rail freight transportation company in Mexico. Yes, there are rich people there. I've met a couple of them when I was down there in 1991 to 92. They were rich. They were ham radio operators. That's how I got to meet some people who actually had some money. I mean, even a guy who owned a series of stores, sort of like these hardware store chains. Yeah, he was a ham radio operator. I wouldn't have met him any other way. Successfully completed the acquisition of Florida East Coast Railroad. With clear growth strategy, the Class 1 Railroad Company commences operations in Florida Peninsula, consolidating its presence in North America. Oh, I thought only the Chinese and Japanese and Koreans were buying up stuff here. And complementing its operations in Texas and its Texas Pacific line. This Grupo Mexico are characterized by aggressive. See, you strain, but you learn new things. Been characterized by an aggressive. This is right out. They're writing this stuff about themselves. They own this website. An aggressive investment strategy in Mexico that's kept it at the forefront of operations and service, increasing it. So they run the rail lines in Mexico. And they need to connect through the United States because we're having so much stuff, raw materials and whatever, sent to Mexico. You build it in the factories there and then you ship it and sell it in the United States. So that's what China's going to do and has already started with this new Trump thing about tariffs. Look it up. I'm clicking on their link. Now, I clicked on their link to go to Grupo Mexico, Pagina no encontrada. Can't find the page. That's not unusual. Out-of-date stuff. What it points to may change. They don't go back check. So what we do is we go gmexico.com. It's gmexico.com. I'm spelling it out for you. With a global presence and a solid trajectory in their 86th year. Now, we can tell that you can see their divisions. This is in Mexican Spanish. We can say make it in English. with global presence and a solid trajectory, 86 years old. I didn't even suspect I'd see something like this when I started on that. And I've worked in Mexico. Not everybody in Mexico is poor or uneducated. When I was in Mexico, a particular ham radio operator who was the head of the Radio Aficionado Federation, Radio Aficionado is ham radio, that's how they translate it, said to me, you know, the average Mexican might have gotten to 5th grade. I wonder what it is now. Who made the mistake? It's absolutely clear. Now we've got to look at one more thing, don't we? I'm going to point out something. You see how that track is absolutely straight down there? And you see how it's absolutely straight in that direction? And how fast did I say the train most likely was moving? As much as 80 miles an hour. Now, now watch. There's an intersection. There's another intersection. We have you can't see it anymore, but there's the diagonal line. The fire truck will assume is coming from, let's say, this area. It needs to get to this area near the canal, inland waterway. As he's coming down that road, the arms come down, bing, 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 bing. Let's say he's got maximum emergency call. He already knows that it won't do any good to try to go around it by going up a block or coming down a block or two. The streets are there. It's not like there was something blocking the intersection that was an automobile or overturned truck and he'd have to go around it because the trailer truck was right across the road. And once it's bing, bing, binging at this intersection, it's bing, bing, binging on all of them a mile either way, at least. Right? Do I have my logic right? So he decided to take a chance. He said, we've got to get across. And he got hung up. I'll bet it'll come out that he got hung up. He wasn't a good driver. Or, wait a minute, let's see if he could have gotten across cleanly. This is where it happened. Let's look again. What we see is a gravel bed here. There's not much maneuverability. The gate is here. The thing is here. I can see them. There it is. That's one of them. I'm looking for the other one. I can see this one here. Control arm. Is that right? Oh, there it is. There it is. It's this one here. Now let's take a look. I see some shadows right there. Okay, they're right adjacent to the track. If the arms were down, how wide is this? How wide? What's the width of a railroad track? This is maybe 30 feet. Both arms are down. These are in the way. He can't swing wide. This is in the, see the lights? There's no arm on it, but there's lights and a stanchion there. This is the one that goes up and down and it's substantial. The mirror image of that is on the other side. The curbings are not high. There's a big power pole here. He's got no room to maneuver other than if he went and there's cars parked here. So he probably couldn't go over onto the lawn, and do a good one, really going sideways and slithering through. He had to weasel his way right on the roadbed. That's my guess. And he got nailed because he got hung up. It didn't say anybody was killed, and I think we should be thankful for that. Steve A. before you, just kind of letting his mind wander and then brainstorming it. If they want to sue the train company, they have to sue them in Mexico City. Something like that. Steve A. before you. Just letting his mind wander and doing some brainstorming. Saying see you in 73.